Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. And let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Young Berg, aka Hitmaker. Now, Hitmaker, man, he has had a long career in this rap game, man. In the music industry, he's been in the game since back in the day when DMX was super hot. I mean, Young Berg, aka Hitmaker, and I'm going to call them both in this video. I'm going to switch it up because I'm going to just say whatever rolls off my tongue, man. Now, pause. Now, Young Berg, he's been in the game since DMX was hot back in the day. He signed to Bloodline. He was DMX's first artist, but he went on to do his own thing and have his own solo career and success in the music industry. He had some ups, he had some downs, he had some pitfalls, but man, his comeback in the music game has been amazing. What brings him in the news today, though, is not amazing. It has to do with none other than Pop Smoke. Now, we've got a lot of testimony and a lot of information from the case that took place last week of, what the only adult in the case, actually, the only adult suspect in the case, a gentleman by the name of Corey Walker. Now, we got detectives' testimony about informants and recordings that detail what took place that night. Now, what everybody's been wondering is, well, there was a young lady that was mentioned in both sets of testimony. Who is she? And where is she at this time? And how come her name is being hidden? Well, some folks online think they found the person it is. They think they know exactly who it is. And this person happens to be an ex-acquaintance of Young Berg. Now, none of this has been confirmed. None of this is official, but this is definitely the story people are rolling with. And before we get into the specifics, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about Lil Berg just a little bit and his potential connection to this whole Pop Smoke murder case. Now, this is a horrible thing to be connected to, so I'm sure Young Berg, aka Hitmaker, does not want to be, involved in this or lumped in this, but his name is swirling around all the fan pages, and they're talking about it on all the hip-hop forums, so I definitely had to, man, say something. I mean, not had to, but I wanted to probe a little bit too, man, and look at the possibilities that are there. Now, I'm going to reference back to a story that we talked about in the very first video when the case was taking place last week, right? Now, in the story, there was a detective by the name of Carusco or something like that, and in his testimony, he said this is what he was told by one of the young ladies that was there. He said that the Brooklyn rapper Pop Smoke was taking a shower at an Airbnb in Los Angeles last year when masked men stormed through the curtains of a second-story balcony, and an LAPD detective testified Thursday. One intruder allegedly pressed a black semi-automatic firearm to the forehead of a woman who was with the Canarsie-bred entertainer in his bedroom that night while the others rushed into the adjoining bathroom, Detective Crisco said. Now, a lot of people were wondering, well, who in the world is this lady, man, that got the gun put to her head, and how come we haven't heard from her? Now, the story continued to say this, that somebody told her to shut up and asked her, do you want to die? The heavily armed home invader allegedly shouted at the woman, the investigator said. Carusco was the first person to talk to the witness, to take the witness stand at the preliminary hearing for Corey Walker in Los Angeles that will decide whether the sole adult suspect in the case proceeds to trial. Now, Walker has been charged, This is the part I want to talk about right here. The woman who was with Pop Smoke the day he died spoke to police hours after the rapper was fatally shot in the torso during the 4 a.m. home invasion at a rented mansion in the Hollywood Hills, Carusco said. She had heard a struggle coming from the shower area and heard Mr. Jackson screaming. Mr. Jackson ran out of the bathroom, and then she heard a loud pop and heard Mr. Jackson fall to the ground, the detective said. All right, we're going to stop right there. Now, this is the part where she talked about them kicking him in the head and stuff like that, and we covered that in the very first video about the case or whatnot. But what's being left out is the fact that, the 911 calls were released. Like, they're online. You can hear the 911 call, and you can kind of hear, you can hear some things in the background. They're a little bit disheartening. And it doesn't match up with these stories completely. Now, I know a lot of people have been talking about this, especially over the weekend. Like, some of the details maybe intentionally, left out. But one thing that they're not feeling is the fact that whoever this witness is, nobody knows exactly who she is. You know what I mean? Now, that's been done to protect witnesses in the past, but that brings us to today where everybody, well, not everybody, a lot of people are saying this woman that's in this situation where Pop Smoke was there the night Pop Smoke was killed was the same woman who was, with Young Berg the night that his residence was robbed. So, man, that is a crazy spin on an already wild story, man. Now, like I said, Young Berg hasn't said anything, and I'm leaving the young lady's name out of it because the situation between Young Berg and her was fairly complicated, man. There was a lot of people who rushed to judgment initially without seeing the videotape, but Young Berg did something smart that a lot of people don't do, man. At his residence, he had cameras everywhere, and he caught the intruders who were trying to get up in his place. I could show just a couple short clips, even though I played a little longer clip in the beginning of the video. Here's just some short clips of those folks trying to break in his residence. Okay, now you see it in that video that basically you can see the guys hopping the gate over there in the bottom corner. You can see him passing something through there. And Young Berg was kind of on top of all this, man. He dropped an official statement through his lawyer and everything, put it on social media. Those videos are still on his social media page to this day, like right now. Now, one thing and one inconsistency I found in this theory that everybody's passing around about the young lady involved, or the young lady who was in both situations, is Pop Smoke's murder and, the home invasion or whatnot took place in February. The situation with Young Berg took place in March. Now, if those were the same person, that would be wild, man. That would be a wild situation if that was still the same person. But I'm not sure if I believe this story or not, man. A lot of people are running around with this rumor, and I see it everywhere. And a lot of people are passing around the picture, which I'm not going to do because if you don't know, then you don't know. I don't know who was there because they didn't say who it was in the story. But it's a wild, wild accusation and a wild, wild spin on this already crazy story, like I said before. But what do you guys think? Have you seen the pictures going around? Have you heard about these two cases being connected? The Young Berg break-in and the break-in, the home invasion and shooting death of Pop Smoke? Or do you think this is just one of those wild conspiracy theories that people are just going off on that, that wild tangent where they putting two to two together that really don't add up and it's really nothing here? Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And, man, make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.